Today is Tuesday, June 2nd, and today's video was difficult for me. Over the past 24 hours, I've gone back and forth on whether or not I should talk about this topic. Violence has erupted across our nation. In the past week, there have been riots in more than 75 cities. The National Guard has been called in 23 states, and more than 40 cities have enforced a curfew, including Indianapolis, just 30 miles north of here, which has seen its worst riots in more than a century. Now, I am a 42-year-old white male. I have not experienced the kind of racism that leads to this anger and frustration. My daughter was born in Taiwan, and one of my big fears in life is the racism that she might face, but I recognize that it hasn't happened to me. So there's a limit to what I can add to this conversation. Obviously, I'm going to call for peace and for prayer, but you already knew that. You've heard that call many times, and it shouldn't surprise anyone that I'm saying it now. And I want to say something more than that. So today, I'm going to give the message that I think I need to hear. People occasionally ask me who I'm preaching to in my sermons. Am I preaching to a specific person or a situation? The vast majority of the time, I'm preaching to myself. I'm preaching the message that I think God wants me to hear. So here is my message for 42-year-old white males in southern Indiana who may or may not be named Brian. This month in our newsletter, I wrote that we as Christians are in a fight. But our fight is not against flesh and blood. It is against the dark powers and principalities of this world. And if we are going to have any chance in this fight, then we need to recognize the weapons that our enemy is using. Because our enemy is not coming at us with knives and guns and ballistic missiles. His weapons are spiritual weapons. His weapons are fear and hate and sin. So our response must, I repeat, must be based on hope and love and faith. Any response that is not built on those things is playing into the enemy's hand. So, whoever you are, whatever your background is, whoever you are dealing with, build your response on hope, love, and faith. When you are responding to someone who is overrun by fear of how they will be treated, fear of what these riots are going to do, fear for the future of our nation, point them to hope. Point them to hope in the God who overcomes. Point them to hope in the Lord who says, do not be afraid and do not worry about tomorrow. The opposite of fear is not bravery. It's hope. And when you are responding to someone who is overrun by hatred, when they are shouting about how unfair life is and insulting anyone in earshot, show them love. Don't argue. Listen. Try to understand where they are coming from and show them love. And when someone says Black Lives Matter, don't say all lives matter, because that's not showing love. That's trying to be proven right. And I know we love to be right. But let go of that. Don't argue. Listen. Try to understand and show love. And when someone is caught in sin, when their fear and hatred have led them to be destructive and violent, then point them to faith. Point them to the God who forgives. Point them to the God who sees them, who sees their frustration and their struggle. The God who forgives their worst moments, who can lead them out of hopelessness and redeem their lives. Our enemy uses fear and hate and sin. So we rely on faith, hope, and love. Whenever you encounter someone, if you encounter them online, if you encounter them in social media or in real life, however you encounter them, if this person is on your side, then of course you want to show them love and encourage them. If this person is ambivalent towards you, then showing love won't hurt anything, and it could help. If this person is your enemy, then you are under direct orders from your Lord to bless them, pray for them, and show them love. May God be with you, and I'll see you tomorrow.